Stewart, how would you assess your round today?
It was a scrappy round, and I made a lot of good saves. My putting definitely was a key to saving my score. I felt like I was in the rough a lot, and I started off shaky. I hit up against the fence on one. I had to play that hole kind of in a crazy way, and that sometimes is hard to shake off. But I did a really good job of kind of riding the ship there. Overall, though, I mean, I'm pleased with a good round. Definitely, the scoring conditions today were just absolutely ideal again. So I'm not surprised the scoring was really low.
It's kind of funny to say this, but was that bogey on one kind of a good bogey because you made two birdies right after and kind of kept the round at least progressing?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nice to bounce back and make a few birdies right after a bogey like that. But, I mean, it was a good bogey in the sense that I could have made double real easily. But, it was a little bit of a shock. I hit such beautiful drives off the range. My warm-up session was just like picture-perfect drivers, and then you get up there and you kind of shrimp one over and almost out of bounds. That's a little bit of a shock. And Reagan was actually really good about saying, like, hey, it happens. It's golf, and shake it off, don't let it get you rattled. And so, I mean, he was doing the veteran talk, and I was kind of like acting like a rookie. So it was good to have him sort of steadying me a little bit there, and it paid off. A couple birdies right after that.
I know you've talked a lot about you guys' relationship. I mean, obviously not just as father and son, but as caddy and player. What's the biggest thing, like you just talked about that, what's the biggest thing that he brings to you, to your game right now as a caddy?
Well, one thing I think that when you have your son caddying for you, or if I had my dad caddying for you, or Lisa, is that there's an unconditional sense of love and sort of like acceptance there that may not be present if you are using a professional caddy. And there's nothing against caddies. I mean, I've had a lot of caddies over my career, and all of them have done excellent work. But the relationship I have with Reagan, it eliminates that, what's he going to think about me if I don't do, if I don't birdie this hole, or if I don't finish in the top 10 or something like that. So without that little burden being on you, I think it just makes you a little bit freer, and that sometimes it's just what it takes to give yourself that element of, sort of a carefree attitude out there where that's when you can really be artistic and creative and play your best golf, is when you have that carefree mentality where you're not worried about, if you hit it over the green and make bogey. I mean, you're not going to plan for that, of course, but you're not going to feel bad about yourself. There's a difference in being upset at your shot and feeling like you're less because you did something. So that's a kind of a little summary of what I think Reagan brings to me.
You guys seem to, from what I saw out there, I was out with you guys for the first 5 holes. You guys seem like you're having conversations, not just about like golf, but about just some other things. That take your mind off of like in between shots, and that kind of helps a little bit too.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I've known Reagan pretty much since he was born, so we go back a pretty long way, and we have a lot of little private things between us, and along with Lisa, that we constantly are talking about, little jokes, inside things, and so he keeps me loose like that. And then we also have a really good sort of cadence going with how we figure out our shots and the breaks on the green, and we're doing a lot of that work together. And so it feels nice to have like a real partner out there that's alongside and invested, and he's also really just doing a great job with his decision making too.
Obviously, you won in the fall. You have great mental pictures from that coming here. What can you use from that win and from other wins or from other experiences to hopefully help you raise a trophy tomorrow?
Well, I think the big thing that I went through in the 11 years when I didn't win is I allowed myself to start thinking that you have to play almost perfectly to win. And then in Safeway, when I got in contention, I didn't play perfectly. I was pretty good, but I didn't play perfectly, and I still did enough to win. And I think that was the biggest thing that shaped my my time since then, and hopefully now and going forward, is that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to draw pictures. You can just go out there and be yourself and be free. And I'm in my late 40s out here. There's very little expectations for me when I tee it up. I mean, so I'm just having fun. I got Reagan on the bag, and Lisa's here, and we're in Hawaii, and I'm looking forward to embracing the challenge of being in contention on the PGA Tour.
Thank you very much, Stuart.
Okay.
Good with your family. Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.